In this video, I'm going to go over why I think Palworld is here to stay. People say that it's a blatant ripoff of Pokemon, that it's exactly the same models, it's exactly the same thing. I believe it's just improving on the ideas and taking them one step further of what people actually want in a Pokemon game. Now, don't get me wrong, there's definitely some weird coincidences or allegations coming towards the Palworld team. I think that they're inspired by Pokemon. I definitely think some of the pals are really walking that line. I mean, some of these are really, really hard to defend. It's hard to reimagine certain animals and certain features of the animal to not sort of have a similar concept. And especially whenever Pokemon has so many different types of Pokemon in their arsenal, it's almost impossible not to have one that looks like the other. And I mean, Pokemon sort of rips itself off for some of their newer Pokemon that come out as well. So I don't think anybody is safe. With that out of the way, I believe that Palworld has such a great opportunity to capture a different type of gamer and bring other gamers together. I truly don't believe we've seen a game like this since Fortnite. Whenever Fortnite originally came out, it was sort of whatever, but as it kept going on, it kept growing over time. It wasn't the original game that you were going around surviving, building fortresses. It was the Battle Royale mechanic, and that became free to play, which was even more massive. Palworld has found success that indie games dream of. They're not just getting players that love Pokemon, that they're only loving the creature capturing system. They're getting people that love survival games. They're getting people that love open world games. They're getting people that love building bases. There is so much to this game that you could sink your teeth into from every angle. And honestly, one of my favorite parts about this game is that it is in early access, that it is in game preview. Releasing a game at this stature already in early access and game preview makes me so excited for the future of this game. There's so many possibilities of what could come out of this. They are showing that they're actively listening to the community. They're actively showing that they're willing to fix mechanical issues with their server, with their PAL AI. They're fixing things on a rapid basis to make sure that this is the cleanest version we could get each time. And on top of that, they're adding such a crazy roadmap already this early to show the player base what they could look forward to. There's going to be new bosses, there's going to be new pals, there's going to be new weapons, there's going to be new islands. Everything is going to change from this point on until the game comes out. They say that they want to have it in early access for at least a year so the community can flush it out enough where it could be a full game. And I truly, honestly believe if they released it as just a game that just came out and it's just a smaller company, it's whatever, I think it still would have been fine. Don't get me wrong, there is a fair share of bugs in this game. But since it has such a great foundation, I still think people would have given it a shot. But having that early access gives the player a little bit of assurance that they're still going to be continuously working on this thing to make it the best product they can. They're already showing that they're willing to put in the work via Twitter or X. They're showing how fast they could update the games, on how well they could communicate their issues with everybody. Creating that trust in a community is so important early on to a game's life. Everybody could just build on it because then word of mouth happens. That's how it's blowing up so much right now. Another reason why I think it's here to stay is because I think we've just been in such a drought of good games in the past couple of years. All these AAA developers having unlimited amounts of money that they could pour into these projects, but they just don't have the heart and soul to make a great game anymore. I'm not saying that the development teams themselves, but the corporation that represents the game is the one that's greedy. They do pay cuts, they do firings, they do all these things to mitigate the inspiration that they could bring to the table for a new idea, for a new game, because they get shut down because they know if they do something new, it might not make them as much money as the next Call of Duty. That's why I believe Palworld is here to stay, is because they're trying something new. It's not a remaster, it's not a sequel, it's not a prequel, it's a new IP, taking ideas from Pokemon, taking ideas from just any creature collection game, and giving it such a unique spin to this genre that's been almost monopolized by the Pokemon company itself. You have to have a real backbone to sort of stand up to Nintendo and try to do that creature capturing system, because Nintendo, if you haven't noticed, is really sue happy a lot of the time. So a lot of these games, I'm sure, are probably in development, and this one looks too close to this Pokemon, and this one looks like that. I'm sure it's very intimidating looking at the well-oiled machine of all the lawyers Nintendo has. Now, since Palworld has come this far in its development cycle and that it's actually out, I don't believe Nintendo had any footing to stand on. Yes, there are similarities in their models, but from a standpoint of Nintendo will sue anybody, will sue YouTubers, will sue really anybody that looks at them the wrong way, I think that they are in the clear as of right now. With all this hype around Palworld, I believe that it is here to stay for the very fact that it is a fun game. Not that it is Pokemon with guns, definitely is a plus, and don't get me wrong, I still call the Palace Pokemon from time to time. But that's just how we've been raised with that ideology of Pokemon. Pokemon has been a phenomenon for almost 30 years. It's hard for Palworld to catch up with that amount of influence on our society. Like, Pokemon has such a grasp on our society, which is rightfully so. It's a great idea and a great concept. That's why I believe we should be able to grab these creature capturing games and give them new life, rather than this is the only game that could have this sort of system. If that was the case, PUBG would really be the only Battle Royale game we would be able to play, because the person who made the Battle Royale genre what it is today, that person made a mod in Arma 3, and that became H1Z1, which he left and then made PUBG. There would be no Fortnite, there would be no Warzone, there would be no Apex Legends. That is a game mode that would have been locked behind a wall. So I think that this is a great step forward into new creature capturing games, for it to be less of a wall that people have to climb over, the wall of Nintendo, which leads to better games, which leads to more competition in this space, so we get a better outcome of this game. We get a better outcome of this push to make games more competitive, to make them actually fight for our attention. They keep just putting out copy and paste of everything else. This will actually help Pokemon become a better company as well, because they have to fight for something now. If Palworld stays at this level or keeps going at this level, that's some definite competition for Pokemon, so that'll make them feel a little bit uncomfortable to make a better product. The reason why I think Palworld is here to stay is because it's the start of a movement of people that want to create games that they want to play, without having any wall of limitation that they can't make this certain game. I guarantee that this is not the first time somebody's wanted to make a survival Pokemon-like game or creature capturing game. They have been blocked by Nintendo, they have been shut down. There's been a couple that have slipped through that haven't gotten the same stride as this, but Palworld has proven itself time and time again that it is here to stay, that people love playing this game, that it is a chart topper, that isn't a AAA developer, that it is a new idea, that this might give some of those big corporations some ideas of, hey, we shouldn't try to cookie cutter this as much as we already do. That is definitely some wishful thinking, but I hope it pushes the conversation to do newer IPs rather than just the cookie cutter basics. Thanks for watching this little rant video. If you guys did like it, please like and comment down below. And if you really loved it, please smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed.